Hi, and welcome back to Realistic Sustainability. I'm Mike, and I am here with the sauciest of guests, Nick.
I mean, I am tasty. They say fat is flavor. I'm about the most flavorful, saucy man you're ever gonna meet.
Welcome back. Happy New Year.
Happy New Year.
It has been a year.
I mean, it technically hasn't. It's been a few days, but we can go with the year.
No, the last year. Do you realize we're in season 4?
So actually, no, I didn't realize that. Oh gosh, my Facebook lit up and it was like, such and such years ago. And it was like a picture of me recording with you at the Chamber of Commerce in Durand. And I'm like, oh my God. The first thing I thought was I was so thin. And the second thing I thought was my hair looks so good. But the third thing I thought, and this is the important one, the relevant one, was Lord have mercy, it's been that long. I cannot believe it.
It has. I mean, several times it's kind of hit me, and it is one of those. It's one of those moments you're like, man, we have been doing this for a little while now, but it's fun. It doesn't feel like it's been that long. I think the things that have been troubling or trying over the last year has been other stuff, and we use this to kind of relax.
Yeah, I would agree. Though, especially the last quarter of 2022 was especially stressful for me, and this kind of stuff helps me. I don't get to do nearly as much as I'd like to, but it's definitely calming and fun, and it's nice to actually do something you enjoy versus some of the other garbage that I filled my year with.
So I know you don't do New Year's resolutions, but
No,
is
I,
there is which, by the way, I've adopted. I've adopted that mindset because you're 100% correctly. Can you
I
tell everybody
just
your mindset?
So actually, this mindset has evolved year after year. But I'm just gonna put it very simply. I think that using the new year, new me, to like as a catalyst to change yourself with literally changing nothing except the number you use to date things is setting yourself for failure and disappointment. I'm not saying that people can't make changes, and I do believe that change starts from within, that you are the only person responsible to improve your life and to actually like be able to be a catalyst for your own improvement and self-growth. But I don't think that the marching of time in this regard is going to be beneficial. Now, if you want to talk about a march of time to help you change, you could look at it this way: we're not getting any younger. Every single day is one day closer to death, and when we have time on our hands, sir, when we get closer to our expiration date, that should be all the motivation we need. And I'm speaking to myself more than anyone else because I am Mr. Procrastinate to change. I just don't think New Year's resolutions are a way to do it.
Well, and they always say that there's always a better date that you should have done something, but the second best date is today.
Yeah, of course. I mean, if we're talking about useful changes, I think that the preferable date would have been a date prior to the day you're starting. So, yesterday, 6 months ago, a year ago, generally, the moment you realize you should have done it sooner, that was the date you should have did it. But I mean, no one's perfect. Life gets hectic and busy. We all get wrapped up in stuff. How many times have we scheduled or talked about recording episodes and then the date? So there are moments, several this year, where we both were so busy we just kind of didn't do it. Not like, hey, I'm not gonna be able to make it. Like, we're supposed to record on Tuesday, and on Thursday, we're both like, oh crap.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
just sometimes it life happens, and you just have to. All you can do is muddle through, bro. You just gotta, get on your canoe and paddle along.
So let's look at your 2022. What
No,
what changes happened just from last year?
oh, about four bigger pant sizes. And actually, I'll be honest. I'm gonna rant and ramble for a little bit. I'm astonished that I've been able to gain so much weight. I'm depressed about it, but I mean, like, we were so busy this year. You think I wouldn't have time to get fatter, but somehow I managed to work it in because I'm that kind of miracle worker. It's just, yeah. So this year's been crazy. We started another business, a meal prep company called Soulbox. The idea behind it was to, kind of help busy families out that are running all the time and don't have time to maybe plan and cook good meals for their family. And when I say good, I'm not talking about like perfectly balanced or, like super healthy. I really just mean fresh food. I mean, not window food, not full of preservatives, not food that's going to sit there on your table for 6 weeks and not mold. I mean, real food. So we started off with a small menu of like maybe 12 comfort foods, and then I've kind of expanded them up to about 25 things now. Plus, I've added a different like a la carte options for sides and sauces and blah blah blah. And it's been going really well. It's still in its infancy. It's only I think been up for a month and a half, give or take, maybe 2 months. I started it in around November, so all of November, all of December, and then here we are on week 9. It's going well. There's been a positive feedback. There's been good buzz. I have a couple regular customers. One lady in particular, she orders 2 family-sized meals a week from us, and she just bought us a like kind of a thank you slash Christmas housewarming present where it's 2 different hard ciders because I do enjoy a hard cider every now and then a gift certificate to a orchard in Flushing, which is kind of local. So that was really sweet of her and very nice. That's going well. Kind of let the cat out of the bag about 3 seconds ago. We bought a house with the assistance of you because you are the greatest of greats. Yeah, we kind of fell into a new place to live. Uh, we bought my wife a car this year. Like it's been a year of for the most stressful year of my life. When I look at it, it's been the most, I guess I'd say, adulty year of my life. I've done more things this year in terms of what I would feel is moving my life in the right direction than I have in the last 5 years combined. So it's been a crazy year. As crazy as 21 was, 22 ended up ending on a crazier note. And so I want everyone just to pop their popcorn and get ready because I'm going to be bananas this year. You guys just wait. There's some stuff coming down the line.
Yeah, we come out of COVID thinking, okay, let's just sneak into the next couple of years, and that's not at all what any of us did. Like it was almost like having time out just kind of changed the world for us. But and I, it's amazing how much change can happen in such a short period of time. And here you are, you were already building Tasty Bits, which had its moments in this season because of inflation of prices and trying to deal with
Oh,
different things, and then moving into Soulbox and doing these things that are your passions. Myself, I've been constantly working, on Dabble, my sustainability stuff, my speaking engagements, my opportunities. Meanwhile, I was promoted at work, and I know your joke about if I think I'm being fired, I'm probably being bumped up, but
it's
one of
not a
these days I'll be right.
it's not a joke. It's one more occurrence away from being a proven scientific fact.
So,
It's not a joke. Anyone listening to this, there is what we call the Michael Nazarian rules of promotion. If he feels like he is about to be fired, if he feels like his place in a company is sketchy or shaky, that means he is one promotion away or one meeting away from a promotion. Because only my brother can confuse good performance with I don't think I'm doing good enough. This is the same guy who thought that he wasn't doing good enough, and then when he had his rating, they rated him at like a 4.1 or something or a 3.4. Essentially, his higher ups told him he was doing the job of 3 people. So it is a proven fact. There is the Michael Nazarian rule. There's no getting around it. It's true.
well, and I do worry about getting our schedule down to be able to do our shows. So we may have to start pre-recording a little bit again so that we can be a little more consistent than we were in 22.
Yeah, I agree with that.
But so I'm going to learn a brand new job. I'm no longer in charge of a handful of parts. I'm now in charge of a full system. And so there'll be a lot of learning to go. And if for those of you out there who don't apply for jobs because you don't believe you are 100% qualified, I just want to let you know, since I've graduated college, every job that I've received in engineering, I didn't even know some of the basics when I took over the job. So make someone else tell you no. Always apply.
I support that. There's a line from a Bon Jovi song from the '80s that says, "I'm gonna live while I'm alive, so I can sleep while I'm dead." I agree with that. The older I get, the actually you kind of said it perfectly. Coming out of COVID, if COVID showed us nothing, it showed us how much it sucked to be locked down and kept away from something you didn't like doing. Most of us don't like our jobs, honestly. Most people, if we're like to average it out statistically, don't really care for their job. I'm not saying hate it or are miserable. They're just kind of like, pays the bills. I despised my job and I despised my employer. Well, I'm never going to have that problem again.
Yep. You've built your own job.
I'm going to be continuing to build more.
Couple of things that happened in 2022 for me is that Dabble started to get close to paying for itself.
Oh, Dabble's awesome. It is the whip. I want to talk to you about a Pokemon tournament at the end of the month, but we'll get to that later.
Okay. So we have tutoring for kids starting to pick up. There's some local tutoring centers that charge a large amount. And don't get me wrong, they do more things. They have reports and fancy paperwork to show progress. We don't do that. And so I was talking to a parent yesterday, and she was showing me all the stuff from a local learning center. And I said, I do want to look at it. I do want to see this because I want to see what they how they are rating your child. But remember, this is their sales pitch. This is the before and after photos. As long as they keep showing improvement on these papers, even if it's small, you'll keep coming back. My job is if you're trying to get a kid to read better, the next time you go to the grocery store and you tell them what to grab, they get the right thing. I'm not going to write you a report. You need to see it in life. And since then, we've had multiple people leave that learning center and come over, and we're starting to get a little busy with that. We have obviously other events and Dungeons and Dragons games, and as you're talking about Pokemon tournaments and just all these different events happening. We're going to do a Lions party here because, Detroit Lions actually have a meaningful game in January.
Yeah, I seen that. I was gonna kind of poke at you about that. If I remember correctly, a few weeks back, you're like, "Yeah, I'm gonna have you cater it," and then I looked at the sign and went, "There's just nothing about food on there."
So, and I'll tell you, yes,
Oh,
for the Super Bowl, I need to get a
uh-huh,
hold of you for that.
uh-huh.
The
We'll
reason
see.
why you didn't get a call for this one is it is not my event.
Typical excuses.
This is one of our clients' events, and he needs to make a little extra money, and we're going to kind of work out something so he can do an event, and it would be a challenging upfront cost if you don't know who's coming.
Oh, absolutely. I'm just giving you a little bit of grief.
I
You're
actually
100% right.
talked him out of it, to be honest. But if it works, then every single time he should
Talked
do
him
one of
out of what?
having him have it catered.
We don't talk people out of giving me money, Michael.
I did because it would be a very large upfront investment for him when he's trying to
Well,
create an event to become an event planner. The Super Bowl will be different. Super Bowl, you will be doing a taco nacho bar. I'm glad I'm telling you that now. And then it'll be different at the door to help cover for it. So
well, I think that are you are you doing the Super Bowl one regardless? You're just gonna do it.
yeah,
When is the Super Bowl supposed to be? Around
I don't
give or
know,
take.
February, first week of February.
You should probably start advertising that now.
The whole concept was we want to be able to help with this gentleman creating this event, and that's why it it is the way it is. But Super Bowl, you're in. It's taco nacho.
Oh, I will taco all the tacos. It'll be fun. It will be. I'm excited.
So Dabble is doing better. We're finding what things work. We're finding the ones that don't. We're kind of moving things around. So that has been a little bit better. I do worry because my time is starting to get taken up more, but we've brought on some help and we'll go from there. Some other things that have happened is I just found out, and I'm not sure if I should say it, the company, but I'm going to. We just found out that the Edible Landscape Project received another $2,000 donation,
That's awesome.
and that is from Blue Cross Blue Shield of Michigan, who would like us to dedicate a spot for them that they will maintain. So they're going to give us $2,000 as a donation so that their employees can be a part of the Edible Landscape Project.
So I'm super excited about that, and I think that sounds wonderful. I also think it sounds kind of peculiar and odd of all companies why Blue Cross would do it and why they're going to give you money to give their employees a job.
Yeah, pretty
I
much just to be a part of it.
could I mean being a gardener for Blue Cross would be like the coolest job in the world. You'd have the best insurance. You'd be digging in dirt all day. That's exciting. That was really amazing. I've always loved that program. I think that's my of all the accomplishments you've had since we've started this podcast. That's been my favorite, hands
So,
down.
so I
As
think it's
well,
I think it's part of their healthy living initiatives, and this is a way to to be a part of a kind of a cool program. I think it's a donation; they're not purchasing the job. They're donating and then requesting, "Hey,
obvi-
can you pick a spot for us, and we'll maintain it."
obviously they're donating. I just think it's funny, and sometimes I like to take words and kind of reshape them in a way that makes me smile, even if it is outlandish and maybe a total manipulation of the context.
Yep. And so another thing that's happening is I'm learning that me and sustainability have been slipping with so much going on. And part of it is when you leave a learning environment like college, you're always thinking of new things. You're always there with people talking about the same kind of stuff, and it makes it really easy. So I'm learning that when you're away from those environments, you can slip. So
Hmm.
part of this year is I'm now doing, because I can't always sit and read a book anymore. I'm not making the time, if that makes sense. So we're doing audiobooks. I've started a list. I'm going to take all of these sustainability factor books, and when I have the time and I'm just writing reports or something, I can listen to an audiobook, and I've started posting them on the site. So as I read a book, or I'm putting on some of the ones that I've really enjoyed in the past, on the greening your life page where we talk about like the product reviews, I'm also just putting in some of my favorite books because I need to get back into that mode before I slip to a point where I'm just not even relevant. So this year, a minimum of 12 books. I'm hoping for 24, but a minimum of 12.
So you're allocating about a month per book, and then if you have more time, you try to squeeze it in every couple of weeks.
Yeah,
And there,
yeah. It helps me remember some of the things I already knew, but like the last book that I just finished from was it Ptolemy? They were talking about fractal habitats, and I knew that, but I hadn't really kind of put it all together the way he did. And it was good. I got to sit and think about it. I reran chapters and listened to them again, and even wrote a short on it because it is something that is general knowledge that should be out there. And
well,
that's what I need to keep doing.
well, I think that there is something to be said about finding people in any industry or field that can articulate thoughts and ideas that maybe you already have had, or maybe that you would dictate as you already knew, but they spend a lifetime learning it. And so when they do these books, they record these podcasts, someone records an audiobook, they put these lectures out there. All that information is articulated in a way that you can process it seamlessly. And so a lot of times you might feel like you already knew this stuff, but you couldn't necessarily put it together like that. So it is absolutely wonderful. There's a lot of psychologists and stuff I listen to for that reason, because it's easier to listen to them. It's easier to listen to them talk about their life's work than for me to spend 15 years studying something.
Right.
But also, and this is something that I want to put really reinforce, is that you're having a sponge out of water scenario. You know, when you're in school, you're completely saturated and surrounded by all these wonderful things and these experiences, and everything is fresh all the time. And now you have to find ways to keep that going. You have to find ways to keep yourself immersed in this world, because like anything else, your brain's a muscle, and if you don't use it, you'll lose it. And it's not to say you don't care about something, but as we've already said, life is busy, and sometimes if you don't take time, you don't make time for something, you don't get to do it.
Yeah, and you can quite easily get sucked into the job and use all of your thought process on that side and kind of lose these things we enjoy. And I don't want to do that. I want to take the time. It's just a small change that I want to do to continue to stay relevant. The other part is I'm also attempting to work with the Forward Party and their future leaders, and hopefully in time be able to help some of these people who are being elected with understanding sustainability better, understanding kindness projects better, and even getting the party itself to kind of add it to their base. So far, it's going pretty well. I am hosting Twitter spaces on Thursday nights periodically to be able to talk to people about some of these factors.
You
But I'm
said
also, what's that?
Twitter Spaces.
Yeah, they've added kind of a group chat kind of thing where it's an
Oh,
audio chat,
cool.
and I get to meet some of these people who plan to run in the future, and they just kind of contact me when they have questions about sustainability factors. So that's another piece that I want to be able to develop moving forward, because the more people looking at sustainability with the eye of efficiency, the better it will be. I want to make it second nature, so it's not something that they do as a political thing, but it's just something they do.
Yeah, you're looking for painless integration.
Right. And then I also want to kind of start watching for all the conferences in the area. I want to start going to those if I'm speaking or just visiting. I want to start hitting all the sustainability conferences, at least in the Midwest, but I'll try to get to as many as I can, at least once a year. But I would really like to get to most of them.
Well, yeah, I think establishing a presence is something that you really need to do, because A, there's nothing better for new ideas than networking with like-minded individuals. I think that is one of the strongest tools you'll have as you go on with all this stuff. If you can find people that even if it's, you have people that have ideas and people that have money and don't have ideas, but they like to fund ideas. And when it comes to sustainability, money's our friend, Michael. And
Yeah, I mean, and look back at 22, sustainability factors got some money. Now, I will say it was one of the largest years of political greenwashing, but like I've written some shorts on several of the bills that were passed and kind of walked through why I wasn't exactly excited, like the infrastructure bill, or I think there was the Inflation Act, which was supposed to be a Green Deal. Those will put money into those environments, but as we learned, not in the best way. But you're right. Networking, getting there, getting people to invest is very, very important. And I'm irritated and I call it greenwashing from the federal government, but at least it is revenue going into the right place, even if it's not the right amount.
well, like you and I have said, many times, sometimes the right things done for the wrong reasons are still the right things. Sometimes I think that especially with politics, you just got to be thankful for the nugget they give you. Sometimes I don't like politics. I don't like talking about it. Sometimes I like talk. Sometimes I think it's hilarious. But for the most part, when it comes to like something so polarizing, it's just better to leave it off the table of discussion altogether. But when it comes to this kind of stuff, even if it is so polarizing, even if it is frustrating, it is good to see them putting some money in the right places. Then we might not agree necessarily with how they do everything, but I mean, with that being said, I don't really agree with any decision they make. So it is what it is. Any attention's better than no attention. This is one of those things where any press is better than no press. Like we want people to pay attention. So greenwash it all they want. I mean, get us something.
But I will continue to point it out and continue to hope that at some point we can push for good initiatives without some kind of backdoor deal.
Yeah, so you're hoping for the abolishment of politics.
I am
That is
actually.
literally what politicking is about. Like it's the antithesis of compromising. So when you think of a compromise, what's a compromise? A compromise is where one person gets what they want and the other person allows them to get what they want in a way they can't complain about. It doesn't mean they're happy, it just means that they're not throwing a fit. Politics is both sides getting what they want while all of us get screwed.
See, and I think a compromise is when both people are slightly unhappy.
Yeah, I mean, to some degree, I think that depending on your level of compromise and also the level of disagreement we're talking about, that could definitely be realistic.
Now, when I do these discussions with Forward, one of the things that I'm constantly preaching, and it sounds silly, is take the politics out of politics. And I've proven, I won't say I've proven, Jeff and the whole team here in Durant has kind of proven that you can do that with certain topics. And that's what we want to focus on. So every time I'm speaking to quote unquote politicians, I ask them quite often, are you a politician? They say yes. And I say, that's unfortunate. We're looking for leaders.
Yeah, I think the biggest issue with any situation involving people is always going to be ego and politics, and I think they go hand in hand. I think that it takes a very special set of circumstances that people will set their personal gains aside and actually do what is in the best interest of the population and the greater good. And it's so rare, Mike. It is so rare.
Well, I think if we say it over and over and over, it becomes reality. So that's what I'm working with them on is doing a job instead of saying they'll do the job, earn the right to fix something by being halfway there before they start and ignore the noise and continue fixing. And that's hopefully something that they'll pick up on and we'll see as time goes on. So looking into 2023, there's going to be goals. You know me, I have to set goals for everything. And I would like to make sure that we're consistent on the show, that we're getting you guys the content that you want and that you enjoy, that it's well thought through, well organized. Now, I don't necessarily write scripts, but I write bullet points. So I do go through the research ahead of time. And hopefully you enjoy this show for a whole nother season because we love doing it. Other things I look forward to, I want to normalize edible landscape projects. I want to normalize those as many different places as we can. As you know, here in about I think it's like 18 days or so. I'll be speaking to a business in Chicago about edible landscape. I was approached last week about doing another one here at a local company discussing it. I want to normalize kindness, normalize a food jungle and food abundance.
You had me at food.
I want to start normalizing the concept of regional foods and that it's okay to not get a pineapple in the off season because you really shouldn't have anyways. I want to be able to help others build like the bulk stores, come up with different ideas, create walkable cities. These are the things in the big scale that I want to do. I'm going to do that through my education process or rebuilding my education process, going to some of these conferences and meetings. And again, getting better at home. We've slipped quite a bit. Really, the only goal I have is to minimize what leaves my property and to slowly find better products and better things so I only buy it once and never have to replace it, like the Misto on the site. I need to get better paying attention to the small details and making sure that when I vote with my money, that I do it the right way. So in 2023, I hope that Dabble grows and is able to help more people, that the Edible Landscape Project just becomes the norm in many different places, that I help become a voice for leaders, not politicians, and that we continue to improve the city of Durand for the residents. What are you looking at for 2023 this year?
Well, I don't have anything that I can necessarily disclose at this time, but I will say that I am looking at starting a couple new projects. I am going to be looking at scaling Soulbox to a point where I will no longer need any type of financial assistance from any other employment source at all. I believe that from the analysis I've been doing, that meal prepping in this part of the country is a new thing, relatively new in terms of the business world. It's still kind of like it's still starting to take off here. So I think I actually lucked out and started it at the right time. So I'm looking to grow that. I got some new projects I'm working on. They're still in their infancy. A couple of them are still theoretical. I haven't even really done anything with them. But I want to keep going. I don't want to stop and be like, well, catering company, that's it. Because it's not. Like, I have way more in the tank. Even if it just means I'm putting together business plans for other people. And to be honest, I've came up with these stupid ideas. Two of really, it's the exact same business model, just themed differently. And it started off as a joke, and the more I think about it, it's a great idea. Think about this, okay, Mike? How much do people in Michigan love Mexican food?
Oh, very much so.
How much do people in Michigan love hibachi places?
Very much so.
Combine them. Okay. I'm serious. Take your hibachi setup with all the tables and the flat top in the middle. You got this super charismatic cook, and we're gonna make it. All he's gonna do is fry up meat and bell peppers and onions, and we're gonna call the place fajitas. They're gonna serve you with tortillas, rice, and beans, and it'll be in tequila. That place will be a gold mine. Like, I'm serious. I said it being sarcastic, and now I'm like, God, why haven't I done this? And we can do the same thing with a breakfast place. The exact same thing. A breakfast one actually would be the easiest one to do. We'll call it flapjacks. People get, they meet up around the table. Some dude's making you cool pancakes in a flat top, and you got eggs and hash browns, and it's the dumbest idea in the world. And I'm like, well, Waffle House works. Why can't this?
Right.
I'm not looking to open that, but I'm doing comparative analysis right now to see if it would work. I'm legit gonna try to sell the idea. I think I would like to expand on the consulting side of food service because I have a lot of ideas that I don't have any interest in pursuing myself. Does that make sense?
Oh yeah.
It's because a lot of them, like restaurants I would like to open someday, take so much time and so much energy. Not to say that one day I won't want to do it myself. I just, with the catering company and now Soulbox, I'm still working on an old book, but I started a cookbook called 50 Shades of Mayonnaise that I would like to finish this year. Like, it's just, I have a lot of little things I'm working on, and I want to lean more towards the development of ideas and the encouragement of others, that if I can do something that I find to be easy and I enjoy doing, then why can't I help other people with it?
Right.
And food is easy. Food's easy, man. They're Legos. Like, flavors are Legos. So you just build things that taste delicious. And I would love to meet people that have a similar mindset and help them develop their ideas and give them insight as far as menu design and pricing and how to, navigate the demographic they're going to be operating in. Because sometimes no matter how much you love an idea, it's not always going to work in the area you're in.
Right.
Like if
Right.
I were like going back to my sarcastic notion, if I was like, I'm gonna open fajitas and I'm gonna open this open kitchen concept where we all people do is grill bell peppers, onions, and delicious chicken and beef and pork and all this stuff, that would never work in one of our little towns. But you drop that in the middle of Chicago or Detroit or like Novi or a big metropolitan area, dude, the money is gonna flow in. Like we're just gonna be like, oh my god, as long as we're in the Midwest. In the Midwest, bling bling. But sorry, I'm rambling. I'm really excited about this year, man. I there's a lot I want to accomplish. I want to spend more time with friends and family. I want to do more things that I want to make more memories and have more experiences and get out there and make a change in the world. And I want to lose weight. I want to see my toes again. Like it's gonna be great. It's gonna be a good year.
Yeah, I'm happy to see people excited about 2023. We're seeing less of those posts online like, don't call it your year, sneak in after the last couple of years. So that's what I'm excited about. And that's why I wanted to just do a show catching up. Who are we? What is going on? All that kind of fun jazz. It didn't have a ton of sustainability in it, but it is what it is. 2023 has room for optimism. So anybody listening, no matter how your 22 went, 2023 can be amazing. We just have to put the effort into it and have the right mindset. So hopefully your 2023 has started out fantastic. And that's all we have for you today. If you enjoyed this episode, share it with a friend or family or on social media. If you want to support realistic sustainability, I think you know this, 5-star reviews, iTunes, it's the place. It seems to be one of the only places that allows reviews. And so all kinds of different podcast places feed off it. So the more that's there, the better. And for those of you who already have, thank you. And if you feel like realistic sustainability is offering some kind of some
Value,
value,
like
yes, the word is value. If you feel like realistic sustainability offers value and that you want to help us out, there's a couple different ways to do it. If you go to greenyourlife.org/podcast, there's a spot where you can support the show. There's people who do it for 99 cents, $4.99, or even $9.99 a month. And for all of them, thank you very much. We do greatly appreciate it. There's also a spot where we're doing reviews on products. So you see different products that maybe we've done a short on, or books that I've just read, and I just let you know how I like them. Well, if you purchase those books, we get a few cents from each of those too. So if you feel like you want to help give back, these are the places to do it. And for all of you, just thank you for listening. We greatly appreciate it. And remember, we only get together each week to get a little bit better. Little bit, big bit. I'm Mike,
and I'm Nick.
and we will see you next week.
This episode is brought to you by Indeed. When your computer breaks, you don't wait for it to magically start working again. You fix the problem. So why wait to hire the people your company desperately needs? Use Indeed's sponsored jobs to hire top talent fast. And even better, you only pay for results. There's no need to wait. Speed up your hiring with a $75 sponsored job credit at Indeed.com/podcast. Terms and conditions apply.
What's going on, everybody? My name is Rob, and I'm the host of The Curated Culture, a weekly podcast dedicated to dissecting the latest and greatest news from around the world of tech and pop culture. Now, we all know the internet can be a busy, noisy place, so let us calm that noise for you. Join us as we discuss the latest and greatest topics from the people and sources that matter most. Check us out every Thursday as we jump into fresh, original content, new interviews, and a host of other subjects that we know you'll find interesting. So jump in to whatever your favorite podcast app is and search The Curated Culture. Make sure you subscribe to the show so you don't miss an episode. And in the meantime, we'll catch y'all on the air.